All right, here we go on the top 100 games of all time with me, Brian Drake. We are really dwindling down or winnowing down. I don't know the word for that. Getting down to the really nitty gritty of the top 40 games, and this will be the 40 through 21 best games in my opinion of all time. A couple of quick notes as I like to give a preamble on these videos. I saw a comment on someone put on one of the other videos that said, I just ignore anything above the top 10 because they're all garbage games. I'm like, I don't know if you're joking or not, but surely you're kidding, right? Out of like thousands of games, my top 100 doesn't scratch the surface of how many great games are out there. Yes, there will be crossover, but there will be some games that are missing. You're going to throw your hat at the TV and be like, what is going on? The TV, like we're on TV, on the computer, on the phone, whatever. So we're going to dive right in right now to number 40. Number 40 is Parks. Now, at the time of recording this, I just got off a plane about 4 hours ago from Phoenix, Arizona, in which we had an event, social distance, mask, all that sort of stuff. But we also got a chance to go see the Grand Canyon. First time Carla had seen the Grand Canyon. Beautiful place, which is why Parks is one of my favorite games. It's number 40 because it's all about exploring the national parks of the United States. And I don't know if you know this because some people, and not an indictment, not anything, some people don't leave the area that they grew up in. Some people travel all over the world, and it's a beautiful thing to get to see the amazing sights all over the country, which is why Parks is such a great game. It's got a good worker placement sort of movement along a track session. It kills Takedo. Just throw Takedo out of the water, right? Nice little resources. The bits look good. The organizer looks good, and the art on these cards is knock it out of the park. It's those travel posters from each of the national parks. It's also got a little bit of info about the parks. So if you want to learn about the national parks, definitely 100% pick up Parks. Number 39. This is the game that got us into hobby gaming basically after HeroClix aside. That would be Ticket to Ride. We picked this game up and we played it thousands of times. My parents love Ticket to Ride. Number 39 being Ticket to Ride in any version. Honestly, pick your version, but honestly, I still just love the classic US map. It's so much fun. And a lot of times we get jaded. We go, this is an older game. It's my intro game. Why would I want to go back and play that when I can play X, Y, and Z? But when you sit down and play it, you're like, I remember why I love this game so much. Ticket to Ride still has legs. Go get a copy. If you've never played this, if you're thinking, no, somehow I skipped it, don't. Go back and play it. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. It's just a fun little game. Ticket to Ride, my number 39. Number 38, continuing in our trend of two games now that teach you something, is World's Fair. What's the year on that? 1893. It's a game all about constructing the World's Fair in 1893. Obviously, it has some cool placement mechanics as well as some majorities mechanics. But what's really good about this game is the history on every single card. When you take the cards from the different areas, it's an actual picture from the era or a hand-drawn or a lithograph or something from the era. And it tells you about one of the exhibits. Some of them are Houdini. Some of them are, they're based on different things. So electricity, agriculture, all the things that would have been at the World's Fair. It's a great game to look at because it's got the Ferris wheel in the middle and you're actually going around the Ferris wheel. Super fun, super great mechanics. Number 38, World's Fair, 1893. All right, number 37, a game that doesn't teach you anything except to listen and yell at the same time. That would be Escape the Curse of the Temple. Never played the zombie one, but Escape the Curse of the Temple is just a silly, zany, real-time 10-minute game. You play the game in 10 minutes, you gather your people up, you get your dice, and you start rolling dice. And whatever you resolve off those dice, what you can do on the board. You can move into a new chamber, you can unlock doors, you can unlock treasure, you can get a treasure, you can get jewels off of the board onto your treasure thing. You can work as a team. You can help each other if their die get locked or something like that. Escape the Curse of the Temple. It's just crazy, zany, great game night game where people go, what in the world is going on over there? So much fun. Excellent game. The expansions come with a lot of powers that do certain things and curses that do certain things where just a lot of zany, funny things happen. But really great game. Go check out Escape Curse of the Temple. Number 36 is another theme park game. As you heard me say, I like theme park games. Number 36 is Steam Park. It has a real-time dice rolling element as well, much like Escape the Curse of the Temple, but it's not a real-time game. There's a real-time mode where you're rolling die and hopefully you get the combination that you want, and then you lock those in, and then you take a certain thing that's going to give you better points or whatever for that round. Then what you're going to do is based on the dice you have from that round, so it's almost real-time setup for a dice placement game. You're going to use those dice or spin those dice, not so much placement but action selection, to do different things, whether that be expand the park, whether that be clean up some of the dirt in your park, which is a negative points detractor at the end of the game. Whatever it is, you use those dice to do it. What makes the game great, though, is that these theme park rides are three-dimensional cardboard bits. They could have been tiles. They aren't. It looks so good. Steam Park's got a great economics simulator, too, with it. So go check out Steam Park. Fantastic game. Number 36. Number 35 is the highest, I believe, highest rated. Nope. One of the highest rated party games on my list. Now, as you've noticed as you've watched the top 100, we're going from more lighter games into heavier games, and there's a reason for that because I enjoy heavier games more. However, number 35 is Pictomania. This is a drawing game that involves you and you're drawing to try to get people to guess your picture at the same time that you're trying to guess what other people have. So it's real time. You're drawing while looking at what everybody else has. You draw good enough to where everybody knows what yours is, and you draw fast enough so that you can guess others fastest so that you can get the most points. You get points on accuracy and speed. Pictomania is a great party game. Here's another cheat, number 34. It's a cheat because I loaded up with a lot of the expansions and all that sort of stuff. But Seven Wonders, I don't think I had to do that. Did I have to do that? Did I switch that out? I don't know if No, I didn't. I didn't fix it on here. So, Seven Wonders loaded up with everything, and by that I mean Armada. Babylon's great too, but I'm specifically talking about cities and leaders and Armada. Armada really makes the game great, but Seven Wonders is another early game that we got into. You're building this tableau in front of you, which is your abstract city that you're building, your empire. You're using the resources from the cards you have in front of you. You're paying money to the people beside you to use their resources. You're having battles at the end of the round. It's a quick drafting game. It's so much fun. If you haven't played Seven Wonders, make sure you go play Seven Wonders right now. Which brings us to number 33. Is Seven Wonders Duel. I like it just a little bit more than the original. Seven Wonders Duel is a phenomenal two-player game. It might be the best two-player game of all time. Sure, there's things like Rebellion and all that sort of stuff, but those are more experiences, and those will hit the list later, obviously. But Seven Wonders Duel is a really fun game, all about playing Seven Wonders, but it's done a drafting mechanic into a two-person game. So they do it really well with kind of laying out the cards in a system where you unlock new cards as you open this card, you'll unlock a card below it. So Seven Wonders Duel really handles the idea of making it a two-player game. There's no dummy. There's nothing like that. It takes the beauty of Seven Wonders and distills it down into a two-player game. So I really love it, and that's number 33, Seven Wonders Duel. Number 32 is the only of the Eric Lang games on here of the massive mythos sort of games, and that would be Rising Sun. Rising Sun is the Japanese mythological game all about area control and honor. I love the way the game looks. I like the more structured pacing of the systems. It feels like it really honors kind of that samurai code, that all that sort of stuff, the shoguns, and it just looks amazing on the table. I love that watercolored art almost, as well as the beautiful miniatures. Great mechanics. It really plays good, and I like it infinitely times better than Blood Rage. So, just in case that's a hint, if you're wondering where Blood Rage is going to be on the list, well, so that's only because I've been angry at Blood Rage many, many times. But Rising Sun stands on its own. Great game. Looks good. Fun to play. And it's just a nice experience to enjoy playing with friends who you can betray, which is always great. Number 31 is Caverna, the Uwe Rosenberg engine building worker placement game, all about cave farming. You're digging deeper into the mines, into the caves. A mine. Call it a mine. Yeah, you know what that's from. You're digging deeper into the caves, getting ruby mines, all this stuff. At the same time, you're farming in the fields. This is one of my first engine building games. Then it's still one of my favorites. The idea that you're planting food that will sustain you later. Put in the ground, grow stuff on top of it. Anytime an engine building game works and just you really feel like you're rewarded from the engine you're building, Caverna is one of those. You build this engine, you get it rolling to where you can sustain yourself food-wise, and then you take the actions you need to take to get points. I love it. Caverna is a phenomenal game. It's the, well, let's roll on to number 30 for that matter. Number 30 is just a little bit better than Caverna, and it's Feast for Odin. Feast for Odin does very much the same stuff as Caverna, except you don't have this tableau that you're building on top of. You're actually covering stuff up using a tile laying polyomino sort of mechanic, using the resources. So this resource becomes this resource, which can go into this resource, which can go into this resource, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it covers these areas on your board. There are a ton of actions to pick from, whether it be whale hunting, whether it be pillaging and things like that. So Feast for Odin is a fantastic worker placement game that uses a lot of great mechanics as far as putting multiple workers out there gets you a better action. It rewards you for building that engine as well, to hopefully you'll be able to sustain the things that you've had on your board, as well as it has those moments of when do I turn from doing this to really running towards that goal at the end. So Feast for Odin, if you haven't played it, it's Rosenberg almost at his best, I believe. Number 29 is Tapestry. This is a great Stegmaier game, civilization game. See what I did there? I said it. What you gonna do, right? I know people complain it's not really a civilization game because blah 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 some stuff, right? It is, but it isn't. It's an abstracted civilization game. You're building your civilization kind of, but you're really more just doing actions to score points. But what I love is it's not a worker placement in the sense that you're putting a worker out there. It's a track, it's a worker track. So if you want to do this track, you move up these tracks. And let's be real honest, through the ages and other games have tracks, and you would call those civilization games. But because of the way it's laid out on the board, some people would say, nah, it's not. But I disagree. I think those tracks of civilizations, and as you go through time and seeing the names of them change, is getting better and better technology. Tapestry is just, it looks good. My only gripe is I'm not a huge fan of those rubberized building pieces. It plays super good. I really like the mechanics. I really like how it feels to decide, okay, do I want to stay with this track and build it up so I can go to space, or do I want to start going to that track so I can get more of these things off of my board so I can build my engine up to get better resources. So if you haven't played Tapestry, go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know that's more of a controversial pick, but I really love Tapestry. That is number 29, Tapestry. Number 28 is Azul. And here's the thing. I did a video called Azul versus Majolica, and at the end of the day, I gave the win to Majolica, but you'll notice Majolica is way up higher on the list, and that is because Majolica can go a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, when I say Azul, I mean all three. I mean, you take your pick. No, I'm not going to do the thing where I compare them all and you go, well, is Summer Pavilion better? I don't care, because sometimes I want to play each one separately. Not that you can play them together, but I don't just have one that's now the paradigm and it's shifted and it's completely. I never want to play, Stained Glass of Sintra again. No, not at all. I love all three of them. I will say though, Summer Pavilion's my favorite because I love that planning phase. So Azul, it's a great tile game. It's a light game. It looks amazing with those starburst tiles on the table. It's fun. It's easy to teach, and it looks great. So that is Azul all rolled into one. Number 27, we're getting down into some fantastic games now, as if they all weren't, but here we go. Teotihuacan. I don't care. I know. I'm from Alabama. I'm sure the accent's on a different syllable. Regardless, it is a game all about moving dice along a board, and where you put them determines what action you can take. Almost Mancala style, but not so much Mancala. You're moving it up to 3 actions, and so. But if you have multiple dice in one action location, the action gets better, but the cost gets a little bit higher too. So. It's a little bit of a point salad Danielle Tascini game in which you are playing with this nice pyramid in the middle. I did a couple of videos on this game, but it's got an actual 3D tile pyramid that you're actually matching shapes on to try to get more points out of that. You're trying to honor the dead by moving up on a certain other track. You've got these 4 temple tracks, well, 4 now with the expansion, 4 temple tracks that you're trying to move up. All in all, it's just such a great game. Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan is a phenomenal game. We just say Teotihuacan because you know what? That's how we roll. It's a great game. really good to look at. It's a little bit more muted in color, but it's more realistic than a game we're going to talk about in a little bit that I did a video comparison of these two. But this is a great game. If you like dice placement and dice kind of movement, you're going to love this. You don't roll these dice. The number is really more of a cube than a dice, but definitely go check this game out. You will really like it. That is number 27. Number 26 is one of the most popular games of all time, obviously because of how long it sat on number 1 for Pandemic Legacy. I'm sorry, how long it sat on number 1 on Board Game Geek. It is Pandemic Legacy. Season 1. Now, Season 2, it's okay. I like it. I don't like it as much as Season 1. Season 1 takes what's great about Pandemic and introduced the Legacy system and kicked it off in such a great way to where now we look back and we go, oh yeah, it's just a Legacy game. Get it? Tear up cards. That was revolutionary. Yes, I know Risk did it first, but Pandemic did it better because Pandemic did it in a co-op game, which means you can control the narrative, which is what makes co-op Legacy games better, in my opinion. You control the narrative and you're telling a story throughout the game. So I have Season 0 sitting right here. We played the first intro mission and we are loving it so far. But Season 1, so good. If you haven't played this somehow, you're like, but I don't really like Pandemic. I don't love Pandemic. I love Pandemic Legacy Season 1. So go get it, get your hands on it, play it, tear it up, play through it. We thought we were going to play it over like 12 weeks. We played over it like in 2 weekends. It was like boom, boom, we're done. So love the game. It's so good. That's because we rushed. Don't hear me say that it won't take you that long. We rushed and we had a lot of downtime when we played it. So Pandemic Legacy, number 26. Pandemic Legacy, number 25. Oh yeah, baby, listen here. The American Dream Dusty Rose is going to tell you what you're going to do right here. Oh yeah, listen here. It's a game all about playing classic WWE stars, and one of them's going to rise to the top, Mean Gene. Well, you know something, brother. Anyway, forget it. You've seen me do the review. You've seen all that stuff. It's great. I love Royal Rumble. It is a game all about classic 90s, 80s, 90s wrestling, and you're having a Royal Rumble, and the theme works because you're not doing one-on-one fighting. You're doing a chaotic Royal Rumble to where you're all going to pick a card and choose who you're going to attack, and then that attack may not work because that person's already been thrown out of the ropes, they're thrown over the ropes, but somebody else might get Bobby the Brain Heenan to come in there and distract the ref, but you might stop the attack, as Miss Elizabeth saying, come to your senses, guys. It's so great. And if you don't like wrestling, you might not appreciate it as much, but I will say it's still a fun, zany card game, mashup, battle royale, Royal Rumble sort of thing. So number 25, Royal Rumble, on my favorite games of all time. Go get this game. It's cheap, it's fun, it's crazy, and it plays up to 8 people. So, it's a fun game. Royal Rumble. Number 24, this is one of Carla's favorite games, and we've really decked this game out with some 3D printings, and that would be Grand Austria Hotel, a great dice drafting game all about you're running a hotel, and it's got this just great look of you've got these rooms, and you're going to put people in the rooms, and you're going to make sure the rooms are ready. You're going to feed them, whether it be cake or strudel or coffee or wine. It just looks good. Now, normally it comes with cubes, but if you watch my video I did on the Catan trading post, you'll see that we've done some 3D printed little coffee cups that are hand painted. Now it looks great, but aside from all that, the game's solid. It looks good. The only problem is every once in a while you get a runaway issue and you just cannot catch up, but it's not always, and it usually has to do with you not making the best decisions with your cards up front. You get some cards that you're going to use for your staff who just give you bonuses and benefits, but if you like dice games, if you like the kind of lookout spiel type games, definitely check out Grand Austria Hotel. It's so good. Number 23 is Brass. I did both of these reviews, Birmingham and, what's the other one called? Lancashire. Go check them out. Both of them are great. I honestly don't know which one I like. I play the original one more only because of the app. There is no app for Birmingham. So when I play it in person, I do tend to like Birmingham better. But when I play the app, obviously I like it better because I'm I've played way more games of it because I can play it in the app, but Brass is one of the best economic simulator games in which you are trying to have this gorgeous route in England, and you're trying to make sure that you're in the Industrial Revolution and you're going to come out supreme, the most money, the most points, etc. at the end of the game. Brass is a classic Martin Wallace game. If you haven't tried it and you're not into economic games, probably not for you. If you haven't tried it and you are into economic kind of heavier games, what is wrong? Go do it right now. Brass. You can play the app if you want, but get a game of Brass in. It's so good. Birmingham is a little bit step up because it tightens up some of the mechanics. Brass is a great game. Number 22, one of the best area control games of all time, and that is Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, the board game is based on the book series, so it's got that Fantasy Fight book series art, but it's just such a good worker placement game. And you see, because Christian Peterson designed this as well, if you like Twilight Imperium, you get tastes of this in that. There are certain things that happen, whether it be how you move troops and how you activate areas and how you can kind of do things with those areas. It's so great, and it's really way simpler than it looks. When you teach this game, you go, oh, there's no way we're going to learn this. But I promise you, stick with it. Game of Thrones is a little bit longer of a game, but there is nothing better than planning and plotting and seeing someone sit across the table going, I'm going to win. I know I've got this. And they don't know that you're going to win next turn because you have been saving your power tokens. So when the bidding comes around, you bid all your tokens on first player so that when you go first player, you go, I just took 7 castles. Game over. Well, I don't know, there might be a little bit more rules protecting that, but that's how many times I've won many times like that where no one could even get in and take those away from me. Game of Thrones, great area control game. Bryan, something's different about this this clip I've noticed. That's right, because I totally forgot to shoot number 21. I thought I did it. Just didn't do it. So number 21 is Cosmic Encounter. That is right. The negotiation game all about getting people to join your alliance, take out other people, and then hopefully come out the best and still have friends after it's over. The stacking ships is cool. The mechanic of, finding out who you're going to fight is great. The negotiations, that is what makes the game so much fun. Saying to your friends, no, you want to join in with me. Come on, please join in with me. Help us beat him. I can beat him. I can totally beat him. And then you can't. And then there's nothing better than a card zap and a cosmic zap. I mean, triple stamping and double stamp, nothing gets better than that. So Cosmic Encounter is a classic game. It's just a fun game. Is it the best looking game? No, but the alien art is nice and it's just such silly fun. It's hard to have a bad time with Cosmic Encounter. It can be done depending on your crowd, but fun game, great negotiation game, classic. Cosmic Encounter, number 21. So that is number 40 through 21. We've covered some doozies that time, which means the next video is our 1 through 20 best games of all time, in my opinion. Hope you like these. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and we'll see you for the top 20.